Shall we begin?
Welcome to the Happy Monster Cast. I'm your host, Scott Marchand Davis of Happy Monster Press.
Let's begin now.
This week on the Happy Monster Cast, the heroes of SET Alpha 1-2 reach the Southeast Fortress and face off with Zargus the Great.
Hi, my name is Ron. I'll be playing Philip Marlowe, the robot pilot Ace.
My name is Brendan. I will be playing Leviticus Overton, a quick flex glitter boy.
Hi, my name is Frankie. I'm playing Kuva, a Simvin Burster.
Hi, my name is Jong Soo, and I will be playing an elf cyber knight named Mingbi.
Hi, my name is Frank, and I'm playing Click, a Troubadour Techno Wizard.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bob, and I'm playing Quinlan, who's an elven leyline walker.
You traveled for about a day towards the Southeast Fortress. What it looks like you're seeing is a three-masted sailing ship from ancient Earth.
Okay. Well, we could always bang on the side of it and call out and see if anybody needs help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's knock.
You hit the loudspeaker. I would like notice rolls.
I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer today.
Quinlan might know. Ooh, Click knows. Man, Click is on it today.
All right. So what Quinlan and Click hear is very faint. But as you get close to the hull and you're kind of checking it out and asking, you hear some faint sounds from within. And it sounds a little bit like laser fire. As you work your way down the gun deck, however, from one of the enclosed rooms, three things appear.
Okay.
And these three things, all of you have seen Coalition Skelevots. And these things kind of look like Skelevots.
Okay.
Only what they're equipped with really doesn't make any sense. They're wearing tattered clothing, shirts and trousers.
Like pirate tattered or slave tattered?
More zombie tattered.
Okay.
This fashion distinction of tattered clothing is... Sorry.
And they're carrying what look kind of like flintlock muskets. And at their waists are hanging cutlasses.
Like good old-fashioned pirate cutlasses?
Yes, although they are also made of the same blue iridescent metal that you saw on the hull of the ship.
Okay.
The third guy's head explodes.
Now who? Okay.
And as he collapses, you see behind him someone who is not a skeleton robot, holding what appears to be a flintlock-style laser pistol, based on the effects. There is a woman, apparently, at least appears to be female, appears to be a feline-style DB in a very formal-looking navy blue uniform with a red sash with another one of these cutlasses thrust through it. And she looks at all of you and says, "Who the bloody hell are you?" Clearly, you're no friends to the skeletons that have attacked my ship.
Well, they came and attacked us. We have no idea what this is or what we've walked into.
So, in any case, if you're willing to help me, I can offer treasure.
What do you need for help? And we have no need of treasure.
We need to clear the ship of these skeletons and then see if it can be repaired.
Okay.
She says, all I know is the skeletons attacked, we were holding them off, and then all of a sudden, we weren't in space anymore. We were in atmosphere and out of control. It was just a blink of an eye. I tried to keep the helm going, and she kind of clutches her rib cage at this point. But once we hit, I couldn't do much.
So there's going to be two phases to the battle. In the first phase, you're going to be facing off against a group of skeleton bots, which are blocking you from getting to Amelia's crew, Amelia being the captain's name. And in the second phase, you, Captain Amelia, and her crew will be fighting the remainder of the skeletons, including their Skelebot leader. the littered remains of these robot skeletons are scattered across the deck, and the crew gathers around, and Captain Amelia turns to you and says, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for your saving my ship. I and my crew are eternally in your debt. Right now, we need to see if we can make the ship space-worthy again.
If we need any help, let us know.
And I start rubbing my hands and looking around.
I would immediately start searching through this box.
Lady Mimby asks where they're from, and the response is, she says, well, my crew is from all over the galaxy, but I myself am an Amedician, and we're trying to make Port Montrose in the Tau Ceti belt. Well, lads, it seems we're marooned. Until we can figure out a way off this rock. I suppose I must ask you for sanctuary then. We're good fighters, and most of us have some technical aptitude. They actually look a lot like Techno-Wizard skyboats.
So yeah, Jen asked if we could bring some along and send the rest on their way. I concur with that.
You absolutely could do that. You could, they could load up most of the crew into a couple of the skyboats, and you could bring one with you. Maybe pick 10 of them to come along, send the captain back.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so that's the plan. You guys have made it across the Mississippi River. You are headed for the Southeast Fortress, which is in the southwest of the Federation of Magic, and which is believed to be the location of the Seal of Solomon. You encountered a strange ship, which appeared to be from outer space, and some of those guys have come along with you in a skyboat. So they're kind of floating a little bit above the Gunwolf as they roll along here.
That's just awesome.
As you proceed into the Federation of Magic, things get just a little bit weird. The vegetation is a bit odd. And more importantly, Quinlan is sensing a lot more ley lines than he's accustomed to. So it seems like in this area, the density of ley lines is much higher than it is around the Federation.
Can that be used to our advantage in any way?
Well, certainly, all of you who have PowerPoints, you can tap into ley lines to get more.
Magic isn't really my thing.
I'm not a place here. Magic's my thing, but not that kind of magic.
No, you can tap ley lines for power.
Okay.
Quinlan's the best at it, but both Lady Mimby and actually everybody except for Leviticus and Philip can tap into ley lines to acquire more power.
Okay.
Doesn't help your space pirate guys though. And you manage to get through without too much of a challenge, and you approach the area where you believe that the Southeast Fortress is supposed to be based on the maps and intelligence that you have. So as you get close to this thing, how are you going to approach it?
What's the terrain like around this thing?
It is quite hilly, bordering on low mountains.
Is there a lot of forested area around it, or no?
It is fairly heavily forested, yes.
I could suggest that I fly in. I might make less noise than the entire group just to scout it out.
You're certainly quieter.
Maybe I can go through the tree.
Yeah.
Is the big boss able to? I mean, are there like roads or trails? Are we able to navigate up to the place pretty easily?
So it's a little bit challenging to maneuver through the forest, but it's not real dense forest where there's brush on the ground. The big boss just plows on through that. Same thing with the Glitter Boy and the Gunwolf.
So we can kind of. I mean, I'm just thinking about a stealthy approach. We can actually move in on vehicle or on foot, right?
I don't know how stealthy we are. I mean, look at us.
That's what I was saying. Like, you got a giant robot in the car. I'm sure makes
I mean, unless we can manufacture a really dense fog that's nicely localized, which is not suspicious at all.
Roll me to the top of the hill. I'll put it in neutral.
As a group, you're extremely conspicuous. That doesn't mean that individuals in your group couldn't potentially be sneaky.
Right. That's fair.
Well, sneaky is not my thing. I'll be upfront about that.
I don't think I'm the best at it, but I think I can somewhat be sneaky.
Of the people who are willing to sneak, you might actually be the best at it.
So yeah, I'm pretty decent.
Yeah.
Philip can sneak, but he is not interested in getting out of his Gunwolf right now.
I don't know if I think that's a particularly honorable thing. I say we just approach.
If we just approach, then I'm going to try to be stealthy on the side with my Griffin. We're a bit more vulnerable than you guys are.
Okay, before you confirm that decision, I will simply note that this is a major Federation of Magic fortification. It's probably heavily armed and may have any number of troops and weapons available in it.
Okay, so my interest is look for the Seal of Solomon.
Right, which is probably inside the fortification.
We're going to sneak in.
Well, you have no idea what you're dealing with fortification other than, it's a significant base in this area. So
they're probably not going to let us take it.
They probably won't walk up and let you just stroll in and take it. And maybe a Gunwolf and a Glitter Boy and a Big Boss are enough to bust through, and maybe they aren't. You don't know.
Well, what we could do, though, the Glitter Boy and the Gun Wolf and the Big Boss could set up a diversion and let the sneaky people get in around the back.
Assuming there is a back.
Well, we might need to spend a little bit of time on a recon.
Maybe we should scout this fort.
Who here can fly? Let's go up high and see if there's a back.
I'm your guy.
Okay, so Kuba's gonna go traditional Simvin. He's gonna sneak his way in. All right, so I would like a stealth roll at +2 because this is pretty rough terrain and you can take advantage of it pretty easily.
8.
All right, so you're moving like a shadow through the woods here.
Nice.
And you move ahead about a mile and a half from where the rest of the group is hanging out. And you kind of move your way up around one of the hills and you come into sight of the base. And this is what you see. The base appears to be predominantly underground.
What is this, the Pentagon?
Actually, to use an analogy that you'll all be familiar with, picture the back door of the Imperial base on Endor in Return of the Jedi. So you've got this little bunker thing protruding out. The only difference is instead of a bunch of stormtroopers outside of it, you have 2 massive armored turrets bristling with weapons, one on each side of this door. As you're looking at the weapons, I would like you to make a common knowledge check to see if you can identify them from here.
Terrible.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're all Techno-Wizard weapons. You've seen lightning bolt cannons before and fireball launchers. They seem to have one of each of those and something that looks like a pair of rail guns as well. Behind that and on the hill that it's buried in, there's also a dull metal tower. It's cylindrical, 10 feet in diameter, and maybe 20 meters tall. And about 5 meters below the top of the turret are 2 more turrets with 2 more of those railgun looking things each. These look a little less heavy and armored. And then above that is a little platform. And attached with rope to the platform is a skyboat.
Like the one we just left?
No, like the one that came along with you, except this one is pretty clearly a standard Techno-Wizard skyboat.
Okay. Oh.
The guys that were in our skyboat, were they with us or did they separate?
There were 3 skyboats. 2 of them headed back to Castle Refuge and one of them came with you. So you've got 20 guys in this boat that came along with you for the ride because they're pretty much dependent on you guys. So they decided to come along and help out. Kuva, I would also like you to make a notice roll.
Okay.
All right, so that's what you see right now.
Okay. All right, I'll circle back and inform everybody about what I saw. There's at least 4 turrets. Would they shoot lightning? And what else was the other one?
Lightning, fireball launcher, and something that looks like a Techno-Wizard version of a railgun.
Yeah, there's 2 on the ground near the entrance and then 2 in the tower.
It's not friendly.
Not cool.
And that's the slightly less secure back door, right?
You didn't see a back door.
Oh.
The entrances you saw are this platform and the main door with the heavy turrets. But Kuva also didn't get real close.
Are these the kind of weapons that can be hacked?
Techno-Wizard weapons typically cannot be hacked because they operate on magic, not on software.
Okay.
Could another Techno-Wizard mess with them?
At short range, yes.
So, can anybody see better at night? Because I just refuse that skill.
Why, yes.
I believe I have low light vision.
Yeah. Infrared and stuff in my armor.
The folks in power armor have no problem seeing at night, but they're also kind of conspicuous.
I have my goggles of Goblin.
Right. So maybe under the cover of night, we could try to get a better look and see if there are other ways of getting in. That doesn't sound particularly promising.
All right. So, Click has the ability to do dark sight, and Quinlan has a suggestion. He says for the scouting mission, radio is a little dangerous because... Yeah, they may be able to intercept that.
Pick up on the frequency or whatever.
Right. But he can mind link you guys.
Oh boy, that should be safe.
Such that you can... He said, it's perfectly safe. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But that's like letting somebody else see your browser history.
What's a browser?
Never mind.
So he can mind link some combination of you guys, and then you can communicate mind to mind, and it's completely secure.
Would the Techno-Wizards not be hip to that, though?
Even if they are, the only way it would work is if they did detect Arcana, which would detect most of you anyway.
Well, as we're moving up, one possibility, if we need to have our Techno-Wizard get close in order to maybe mess with or maybe even take over one of these turrets, those of us in the power armor could kind of draw fire and let him get close.
You can swoop him on in there stealthily if I can.
Oh, I have a crazy idea.
Uh-oh.
Go for it.
Let's hear
Do
it.
we still have the person? Can you? How good is your aim?
What?
Me?
How high can you shoot something in the air?
With the boom gun, I can shoot something extremely high.
And now I go to the big boss and I rifle around to see if I brought any canvas.
Uh-oh. What are you looking for now? And why?
Wings.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Like a skydiver or a wingsuit.
A wingsuit?
I think that fly is in your power list. I'll double check. So
I
you
don't
can
believe this.
What?
you can MacGyver together a fly gadget.
You
What?
could just you could,
No,
just
don't
drop
do that.
Can you just drop him?
Do you have somebody that can fly? I can be dropped.
Griff can hold, as long as you don't weigh too much, he should be able to carry
Okay,
you.
so why would you want to fly? Why would you want to make these wings and fly?
I want to see what's. We have big walls. We have lots of guns. I don't know how high. Take a look. Take a look at the big boss. The fireball firing thing does not go vertical.
Fireball firing thing.
The turrets have a maximum inclination that they can fire.
The turrets on the column, according to what Kuva saw, can probably cover airborne targets. It looks like they're kind of the anti-aircraft turrets to protect that platform versus the ground assault turrets that are there to protect the door.
Well, fully.
Good idea, though. I like it. I'll throw you a Benny.
Woo!
Okay.
I'm saving that one for later. I want to be shot.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Save that one for later.
Troubadour Cannonball Special.
So do you guys want to do this nighttime excursion here? And if so, do you want a mind link to help you out?
I think it's a good idea.
That'd be a good idea.
I think we should get a closer look.
Okay, who's going in?
I got low light vision, so I can.
So you and Click can go in, and you both have night vision.
I have excellent nighttime scoping vision, but I'm too conspicuous.
Okay, so Quinlan links up the three of you. So he's connected to you, Kuva, and to you, Click. So the three of you can communicate it in your mind link.
Okay.
All right, so you guys move in. I would like stealth rolls from both of you, please.
Oh, you guys are looking for entrances. You're not going to do anything foolish like going running in, right? This is just a last check before we go. Nothing foolish.
We'll follow your orders, Captain.
That's fine.
Hey,
Technically, she's a corporal, but I kind of like that you call her captain anyway.
I like it too. I'm not going to correct them. Nice.
Click is moving like a ninja here. He is, so you guys close in. And you're moving pretty quietly. The woods are helping. It's dark. You're pretty confident that nobody's seeing you here. And I would like notice rolls from both of you. Okay. So Click, with your superior vision, thanks to your goggles, you spot what looks like a small concealed entrance a little bit past that column thing on the hill on one side.
Ooh.
And without needing any special knowledge, you guys also see the front door open.
Oh.
Okay.
And out of the front door marches a troop of what look kind of, but not exactly, like goblins.
Hey, goblins.
When you say a troop, how many are we talking about?
There's 15 of them, and they head off to the north.
I recognize the species.
You guys can make common knowledge checks to see if you recognize these guys.
Getting straight forwards tonight.
Not a bad roll.
Yeah, I won't complain.
Okay, Click. You recognize these guys from Tolkien. There were a few of them there, but they weren't real popular. And they eventually decamped for the Federation of Magic, where you've heard there are a lot more of them. These are Psy Goblins.
That does not sound promising at all.
So they have night vision, they have low-level regeneration, they're very stealthy, they're very vicious, and they have a number of psionic powers built in. And they go marching off to the north. Fortunately, not where you guys are.
Do they look like they're armed for, like a military engagement, or like...
A couple of them are riding hover cycles, and they kind of go out ahead like they're scouting. They're wearing armor, and they are all carrying various bladed weapons and rifle-like weapons. And as you look in the gate, as they're looking in the door, and you can see it closing, you also see an immolator demonics kind of hanging out in a large chamber just inside the door.
Ooh, does not sound good.
Don't run in.
No.
This is a very well-guarded establishment.
Yeah, we'll just do what we can and then circle back.
Good.
All right, but you did see that concealed entrance on one side.
Yeah.
So there does, in fact, appear to be a back door.
A fire escape. Just kidding.
Well, there is a general rule of thumb that if you have an underground lair, it's usually not a good idea to only have one entrance.
Yeah. Well, for any layer, even a house.
I think that's code.
So I'm assuming you guys have come and reported back.
Yeah, we should have circled back already by now.
Yep, you're back in your little encampment here, laying out what you saw.
So here's what we found.
So this other entrance, this side door where the goblins came out, how far around is it from the turrets?
It is about 300 meters back from the turrets on one side.
Are these turrets 360?
They are not.
Okay.
The turrets would not be able to train on this entrance.
Okay, great.
Picture the entrance coming out of the front of a hill.
Right.
And then the hill kind of arcs around back on either side. The turrets are mounted right next to the doors, so they can fire all the way 180 degrees in front of the doors and a little bit back, but not very far on either side. And then further back, you have this entrance. So if you were trying to come up on the door from behind, eventually you would be in the firing arc of the turret.
Okay.
But you're not in the firing arc of the turret at this entrance. Yeah.
So this door, how large is it? I mean, is it big enough that I can come in armored?
You might be able to squeeze your way in. You're definitely not getting the Gunwolf in there. It's a long shot on the Glitter Boy. The big boss is right out.
Because I think that if we were to attack this door, then, I mean, that's just going to bring everybody out. That's just going to set off all the alarms. And with the immolator demons on the inside, I mean, even a stealthy, like sort of pick the lock entrance, you're still going to be walking right into these guys.
What's our main goal again?
But this is the front door that we saw open, and that's where the immolator demons were, right? So we don't know what the back door situation is other than such a thing exists.
Right. You don't know what you would find if you pop the back door open.
Later demon seems like something we don't want to do.
Okay, so we need to take a look at this back door. Did it look like there was a way to get in? I mean, is there a lock to pick? Is there magic? You
didn't get close enough to find out. You'd have to approach a lot closer to see what's there.
The door that the turret is that big enough to bring in the big boss and the Glitter Boy and the armored wolf?
Yes.
Oh boy.
So one team could go in the small door, overcome everybody that's inside, make their way down through the halls, and open up the big door so that we could all come in.
Was that all?
Yeah, I mean that's the 30,000.
What's our goal again? I'm curious here. Is the goal to take the fortress, or is the goal to find something in the fortress? Those are two different strategies.
It's true.
Sure, but we can't find it unless we get inside.
Yes, but we don't have to take the fortress to get
if
inside.
We're not taking the fortress. We don't need to get our tanks into the fortress.
But tanks are a good idea.
Tanks are a great idea. Tanks should be really loud outside the fortress so that things come out of the fortress and look at the tanks and say, "Ooh, scary tanks! We should do something." While other people sneak around in the fortress and get what they need.
Well, so here's an idea. How about if the heavy armor guys blast the small door, lure the immolator demons outside, and then while we are fighting the immolator demons outside, the smaller, Force 10 from Navarone sneaks inside and picks up the Seal of Solomon.
I like him. He's smart.
Excellent pull on Force 10 from Navarone there.
Well,
right. We have no idea how big it is. We have no idea how many are coming out. We know that a platoon has come out, so it houses at least that many.
But if things get too hairy outside, then all of us, the heavy armor guys can just run away.
So let me add one more bit of intel here. There is an individual who is believed to be based in this location. This is an individual who calls himself Zargus the Great. He is a DB, sort of a...
Oh, he's one of my characters.
He is kind of scaly anyway, so there's a little bit of tie in there, and he is known to be a powerful wizard.
His alignment, like who?
Well, he's Federation of Magic, so his reputation is that he has utter disdain for any lesser beings.
That sounds about right.
He's a target or a possible ally?
He is rumored to be the commander of the base. Whether or not he's actually there or not is an open question, but
I think that kind of rules him out as an ally.
Indeed.
That sounds like it puts him in the them column.
Probably, yes.
Anybody who has to call themselves great can't be all that great. I mean, if your actions don't speak for themselves, I don't know.
This is true. Well, so what do you think of that plan?
I mean,
the diversion?
Sure.
Because I don't see how we're going to be able to find the Seal of Solomon without knocking on the door.
Getting in there. Yeah. So do we want, I mean, I actually think to be a little bit cautious and watch it for a day, see like who the scouts are, kind of what the activity is, if there's another platoon that's leaving, if people come, just to get a little more intel on what's happening here. I know it's a little more cautious, but I don't like the idea of going in without having any idea of what we're getting into.
Well, that makes sense to me.
Okay. So Kuva sets up, he's got a good perch now where he can kind of watch things. And you watch the place over the ensuing day.
Okay.
And during this time, you see a couple of things that go in and out. You see a small patrol of creatures. I'd like a common knowledge roll to see if you can identify them.
Just by Kuva or
all of us, or
just Kuva because he's the one watching.
Okay.
I want to say that.
Much better. Okay. These are cyborg broadkill.
What?
They are cyborgs. They are sub-demons with bronze skin and hairless, otherwise fairly humanoid. They do have claws and fangs, and these guys are packing laser rifles and vibro swords.
Okay. I'll communicate that to the rest of the party.
There's a group of 6 of them that exit in the morning looking like they're going on patrol, and they return later in the day. There's another guy that you have no clue what you're dealing with, but he's pretty impressive looking when he comes popping through, and he comes from the northeast and goes in the main door during the course of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, he looks a little bit like a juicer, but not in terms of having like tubes and things running over his body. But he's also covered in dragon scale and dragon skull armor, which is not your standard juicer approach.
Okay. I mean, we have a sense of what that indicates, like makes him special because...
This is a new one on you guys.
Okay.
I would, however, allow occult rolls to try to figure out what you're looking at. Click.
I got
you are absolutely convinced that this is a weird dragon.
Great.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to need some garlic and a matzo ball.
Okay, so you kind of take a really close look at these guys. You sort of try to get a psychic feel for what you're dealing with here, and you relay that back to Quinlan. And you think that these guys are using dragon parts in kind of the same way that a juicer uses technology to boost their abilities. So that's what this guy is doing.
That's weird.
So he's got dragon scales, dragon bones. The tubes might be dragon blood or bile. So he's boosting himself up using dragon powers.
Charming.
Okay. So you guys going to execute your plan?
Should we wait until evening or should we wait until the next day when the patrol is out?
Yeah, maybe we can hit when the patrol leaves.
All right. So you guys wait for the patrol to move out. They do in fact have another patrol go out like that.
Hey.
And so the idea is that Philip and Leviticus are going to move kind of to one side of the hill and then blast the side of the hill and then move to the front door.
Yeah, we're going to blast that door open, and then we're just going to kind of open that, clear the path, and then we're going to move off to the side.
So stay out of the reach of the turrets, but also clear out so that when you draw their attention, the other 4 can sneak in. What about the folks in the skyboat?
Can they attack from the air?
They can. They'd be pretty vulnerable, though.
Yeah, once you shoot the boat.
There's how many do we have? 20 of them?
Yeah.
What are they armed with?
I think if we get in the back door, 20 is a pretty decent force to cause some havoc inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are we using them all as cannon fodder?
Well, I was just thinking that if we have some of them as support for us in the diversion, and then but the main bulk go in with you to clear and secure, you guys should be pretty good, in pretty good shape. Because you're mostly intended to be moving kind of fast and stealthy inside. I don't know if you want a huge force with you.
We don't. I think more for diversion is a good idea. That's agreed.
We don't. The more is good. Yeah, more people are going to be less stealthy. Yeah, we should definitely do that.
Because then we can split up. If we've got 20 of them, then we can split them up and kind of draw fire elsewhere, really pull everybody away from the doors.
Yeah.
I mean, to have a force that kind of is attacking from the front and then kind of moving back to try to pull. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, so that's the plan. Attack, have a force that's kind of waiting in the front so that they can pull.
All right. So are you going to use the boom gun for this, or are you going to stay more mobile and maybe lob a grenade in?
I'm thinking initially I'm going to line up the boom gun on the door. And then once I see somebody poke their head out, then I'll let them have it. Because I think the boom gun should be able to smash through the door, right?
Well, remember, to fire the boom gun, you have to plant. So do you want to plant kind of where you want to be and then have Philip blow the door in?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Okay, so you go and you plant, and Philip rolls over with the gun wolf, and so he's going to need to make a shooting roll, and he's going to line up his. Let's see, we'll go with the dual linked medium rail guns here.
Nice choice.
Always a good way to open a party.
Yeah,
and he lets off a full burst from those guys. And that's going to hit very easily. And that is definitely going to be enough. So the rail guns fire off down range and he just blasts this door out of sight. And so you move off. He moves off to where you are and lines up. And busting out of the front door very shortly thereafter is a fairly substantial force. So that there are 2 immolator demonics that come busting out. There are 3 of these dragon guys. There are 10 ogres, 5 of these Psy goblins, 4 of the broadkill, and then this alien comes out and he sort of stares across at you, and then he says quite loudly, "Who dares?"
Where is he standing when he says this?
He's standing behind the 2 immolators.
Okay, are they all moved out of the doorway? Are they closing on me now?
They have kind of lined themselves up with weapons trained on you guys, and they are ready to attack, but they are not yet attacking.
In the meantime, can we try to access the secret door, the not so secret door?
Yeah, I'd like stealth rolls from all of you guys while all this is going on.
I'm good. Oh.
As a group, that's plenty good enough.
Okay.
So you guys are sneaking up to the door while this is happening. And so he says, "Who dares?" And before I tell you what Philip does, is there anything you'd like to do, Leviticus?
That was pointed.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the boom gun right at his face.
Okay. And as you start aiming the boom gun out of the speaker system on Marlowe's Gunwolf, you hear, "Enough talk," and weapons start blazing out of the Gunwolf as well. So the first round of the battle, this is a mass battle for the folks outside the fortification. From the shooting rolls that Leviticus and Philip made, you did some damage to the enemy as you opened up on them. But unfortunately, they did a lot more. You were surprised because the turrets on the tower were able to bear on you, and they really chewed up some of your pirates who are fighting with you. And on top of that, both mech pilots were subjected to some kind of psionic attack, but the source of the attack is unclear. The attacker may be invisible.
Invisible? Great.
Invisible, yeah. So the morale roll is not looking good. First, Benny, also not looking good. Would you like to Benny again, or will you allow the troops to retreat? Well, that's a lot better.
Hey, thanks.
Okay, so you fight on.
Phew.
Meanwhile, at the back door, Quinlan, Click, Lady Mimby, and Kuva sneak into the fortification. So for this dramatic task, you have a certain amount of time, a certain amount of rounds, if you will, before you will be discovered as you're sneaking through, or alternatively, you might really screw up. So you have, for this sequence, you have 3 rounds to sneak through, and you need 10 successes on either stealth to sneak through the fortress or occult to assess the strange runes and glowing sigils on the walls to help you navigate through the fortification. So for round 1, pick one of those 2 skills. If you don't have either, you can roll unskilled if you choose.
I'm doing stealth.
Okay.
I'm going occult.
I'm stealth too.
All right, so that's pretty sad, but you did get 2 successes out of it. You've got 2 rounds to get 8 more.
Okay.
Right.
So you're sneaking through. You're having a hard time finding your way through.
Oh, Kuva's stealthy.
But you're moving with good stealth as you go.
It's the occult. Ugh, somebody's going to start having to Benny that. Oof.
You're definitely going to have to no. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3 successes. So that gets you up to 5. You're going to need 5 successes in this last round, which means everybody needs at least 1 success, and somebody has to succeed with a raise.
Did I Benny that last one?
You could Benny that last one if you want.
Why don't I Benny the last one?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so that's a success. You're up to 6 now. So everybody needs at least 1 success for the last round here.
Oh, I think I got that one. Oof, nice.
Yeah, that alone does it. Between Lady Mimby's stealth and Quinlan reading the runes. So you guys make your way deep into the fortress, and you find what appears to be some kind of a treasure vault. And there are locked crystal-fronted chambers all the way around the perimeter of this round domed room. But in the center, levitating in a column of light on top of a granite pillar, is a bronze seal. It's slowly spinning, and the seal has the image of a 6-pointed star graven in it on one side and some strange characters on the back.
So I don't actually want to touch something that's levitating and spinning. Does anybody have an idea of what would be a safe way to sneak this and transport it?
That would be for round 2. Okay, meanwhile, we return to the battle outside. So we'll need shooting rolls again from Leviticus and from Philip.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh man, you need a Benny.
He can't. It's a critical.
Shoot, you can't.
Oh no! What? How do you get a 0-0?
Because he rolled a 1-1, and he has a level of fatigue from last time.
Oh no!
So that will lead to a fun setting roll.
Oh
no!
Called technical difficulties.
Everything's going according to plan, guys.
All right. So first, your Gunwolf is going to take damage, and it's also going to have some technical difficulty. Can I get a D6 from you, Philip? Hey, there we go.
Okay. Jeez.
All right. So everything you do on your Gunwolf now has a penalty of -1 because it's glitching.
Wonderful.
And it's going to take 2 damage. So I also need you to roll for some vehicular damage.
Really?
So first, I need you to make a piloting roll as one of these railguns just slams into you, but you're able to maintain control. And then I need you to roll a couple of 2d6s for your damage from the vehicle being hit. All right. This one busts through the canopy and you are wounded. Then I need another one for the second hit. And that one hit in the torso without doing any more significant damage. You are now wounded inside the, you caught some shrapnel from when it punched through the canopy. All right. Now I would like your battle roll, please. Wow. You were motivated by the... All right. Even with your 1 wound, that's still 2 successes. And you just came back roaring from this. So Zargus thought he had you guys on the run. He chewed up your guys last time, but you went into cover. And you're using the cover very effectively. And you just go to town between the boom gun and the rail guns and the Gunwolf howl. You are doing some serious damage here. So you've really chewed those guys up. So I would like a morale roll. Again, a straight spirit roll to see if your guys are in a good position here. Yeah, they're fine.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And then we'll get one from our buddy Zargus here as well. Okay, this may or may not be good news, but they're retreating back into the fortress.
Oh, God. That's the opposite of what we wanted to happen.
We did too well.
You might have done too well.
Oh,
yes.
I don't know if that happens too often.
But this fight took a while, so your compatriots inside the fortress still have a shot here.
Woo!
As you taunt them as they return into their fortress. Meanwhile, in the treasure chamber, you're trying to figure out how to get access to this seal. So to do this is a second round of your dramatic task. So there are 3 applicable skills here. And this is going to be a little more difficult. It's going to be 3 rounds. You're going to need 15 successes in order to figure out a way to successfully extract the seal and safely extract the seal, because it is very clearly booby-trapped. Your skills available here are thievery, repair, and occult.
Oh, God. I don't have any of those.
I will take repair.
I kind of figured you would.
If I were to boost a trait for somebody, would that help them with the skill roll?
It absolutely would.
Okay. So I reach into my little utility belt and I pull out something that looks oddly akin to a tricorder from the 1960s Star Trek and walk over and, Lady Mimby, what trait would you like boosted?
I don't have any of the skills to be able to figure this out. It was occult. And what was the other 2?
Cult, thievery, or repair. You could boost any one of those up to make it a D4.
Yeah, I don't have any of them. It would all be unskilled. I'm happy to try it.
Well, if he boosts your trait, though, it wouldn't be unskilled anymore. It would be a D4.
D4? Okay.
Yeah. And I would actually allow you to do that for both Kuva
I was
and...
going to say, and I can burn a PowerPoint there, I think,
Nice.
for Kuva as well.
So go ahead and make your weird science roll.
Weird science.
Weird science.
Okay, that succeeds. So now I would like you can do Lady Mimby can roll common knowledge, and Kuva you can roll intimidation.
Intimidation.
Okay. Yeah,
It just happens to be a D4. Okay, so that's 3 successes on the first round.
Nice.
Let's go for round 2 here. You're working away at it. It's very...
Oh, yeah, I had to burn a round to do that, didn't I?
No, you can go ahead and make a repair roll.
Nice.
4 successes on round 1. You need 11 successes in the next 2 rounds. You're working away at it, but it's complex. There's both mundane and magical traps on it, so there's a lot going on there.
Nice. Oh, I'll Benny that one.
You can't Benny a critical failure.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, Frank.
Wow, Frank.
You're working away at it.
Click.
So Lady Mimby's poking at one of the rooms as you're trying to disarm this thing. And you see the seal start to speed up. And the pillar of golden light that it's sitting in begins to change color. And it takes on a reddish hue.
Well, that's not good.
What do you guys do?
We haven't touched it yet, have we?
I think I did.
No, you haven't touched it yet. You've been working on the pillar that has the booby traps in it.
Is there any inherent knowledge any of us would know about this device?
I would allow another occult roll to see if you can figure out what the heck is going on with this thing. Okay, Click is quite clear on what's going on with this thing.
Okay.
You have triggered a trap.
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
And you're not 100% sure, but you think that in about 10 seconds, the entire treasure chamber here is going to be filled with flames.
Oh, boy. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
And it emanating from the seal itself, the flames will spread.
You don't know if the seal, if the flames will spread, but they are not inherently magical flames. So there is
just fire.
There is a possibility, although it is not 100%.
Since I'm in touch with the fire on a spiritual level, do I have an instinct on what to do in the situation?
It's not guaranteed, but it is possible that because you are a burster, that it will not harm you.
Good luck, everyone else, I guess.
Thanks a lot.
So
that's
I
great.
assume that Click that you tell everyone else what's going to happen.
Oh yes.
And so we'll just go around, starting Quinlan runs for the door immediately. Click, what do you do?
How many more successes do we need to get this thing? Or it's too late?
It's probably a moot point at this stage. You were trying to disarm all the traps so you could get at it. Click, what do you do? You've got 10 seconds.
I've got 10 seconds. In my knowledge before the 10 seconds started, was I able to ascertain where fire may come from?
It's going to explode outwards from the pillar. 10, 9.
You don't have a giant fire extinguisher, do you?
8.
Press a bag on it, grab it, and get out of there.
I rushed the pillar.
Okay, so you rush the pillar. Well, you're right at the pillar, so you can grab it. If you're going to grab it, you can grab it.
And I grab it.
Get it and go.
Okay, now the pillar is coruscating multiple colors because you've set off all the traps.
And we're running.
And the seal becomes white hot. Make an agility roll to see if you can drop it before it burns you. All right, so you grab the thing. It turns white hot. You let it go.
Holy crap.
It does not fall. It's outside the pillar now, but it is floating in midair, glowing. What do you guys do now? Now you have about 7 seconds.
We have like some kind of
How close are we to
we're
the door?
like,
you could just barely hit the door if you run.
you know what? I'm going to take my 2 swords and see if I can just push the seal out the door because it's floating.
That is going to be a major challenge. So go ahead, give me a fighting roll at -3, please.
Fighting at -3. Oh boy.
No. So you take a swing at it. You're not able to push it. You have a choice now between trying again or running for the door.
I'm going to try one more time.
Okay. Your sword passes through the seal without doing any damage. Kuva, what are you doing?
She did that. Did it seem like it was ethereal, like Just kind of like it went through the seal?
It seems like it went through the seal. Of course, her sword is made of psionic energy, so that's a little bit of a complicated problem.
Gotcha. All right, so now there's different colors on the pillar, you said?
Yes, the pillar is going
different.
There's probably more traps than just fire, yes.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go for the door and scream "run" while I'm doing it.
Okay, so the room basically explodes around Lady Mimby.
Oh man!
Out for 19 damage of fire, ice, light, necrotic. Pretty much everything you can think of is blowing up all around you.
Ah, gross.
Okay,
gross.
Fortunately, you're pretty tough, so that only is enough to shake you and do 1 wound. So you can spend a Benny and try to soak that. Make a vigor roll.
All right.
Okay, so you are blown out of the room, but you managed to roll and not take any serious damage. You take 1 level of bumps and bruises for fatigue.
Okay, man, the judo falls good.
Yep. And all of this chaos stops at the door, and you turn back to look in.
Uh-oh.
And through the chaos, you can see the glowing seal, and it is glowing with a beautiful golden light, which is pulsing as it spins. And then it starts to move upwards, and it accelerates extremely rapidly, and it blows through the ceiling of the chamber. I would like notice rolls from Leviticus and Philip. Okay. A glowing golden projectile explodes up through the soil where the base is buried, some distance behind the tower. It shoots up into the air, maybe 100 feet, and then it goes zooming off to the northwest.
The northwest.
Yes, you are, because you noticed it, able to get get some radar information on it. It is a very small but noticeable radar return, as well as an infrared. So you have a pretty good bearing on the direction. You also see that it is moving at about 500 miles an hour. There is a contrail. Okay, so what is the team inside the fort going to do at this point?
Run away!
Okay, so you guys make a run for it. Fortunately, this happens right after they go into the fortress, so you're able to make your way back out before they notice that you're there. So, Philip, you pull up on your damaged systems some maps of the North American continent, and you are kind of checking out what might be going on with this thing. And if you follow the bearing that this thing is on, it is pointed more or less directly at Chi-Town, the capital of the coalition states.
Did we just accidentally nuke the coalition states?
That is a very interesting question.
Sorry, did we just what?
Did we just start a war?
Shh. No. Shh.
I was never here.
I didn't do it.
Zip.
How much does it cost to bribe a pirate?
I'll take my money and leave now. Thank you.
All right. Well, you guys have a decision to make. At this point, you need to decide where you're going to go. So you could head back to Castle Refuge. You could also stop at Merktown on the way back and get some repairs done on the Gunwolf and some resupply.
Yes, please.
Or you could head directly for Chi-Town and try to figure out what the heck just happened.
I think we should go to Merktown and get repaired and then go to Chi-Town.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So you guys are going to head for Merktown. Fortunately, the local Federation forces have been kind of chastised by you guys. So there's not a lot of patrols on the way back, and you're able to make it to Merktown without any trouble. So Merktown is basically an independent settlement populated extensively by mercenaries. You can pretty much buy anything you'd want to buy here. You also know that there are a couple of places that have some connections with the Tomorrow Legion, where you could potentially get access to a repair shop and get the Gunwolf put back together.
Yes, please.
So I'd like repair rolls from those who are contributing to that. Yeah, clicks all over that.
I have been wanting to touch this Gunwolf since I've seen it. What modifications we can make?
So Philip is very reluctantly looking for assistance, but Click fixes it up almost good as new.
Oh boy.
I would also like a vigor roll for natural healing from Philip, because you've had enough time for your wound to heal. Yeah, you're good. So your fatigue is cleared out. You're healed up. And it took you a while to get back to get to Merktown. It took a few days. Long enough that traders from Chi-Town have come down the river with news.
Here it comes.
And the news is there is absolutely nothing interesting happening in Chi-Town.
Really?
Huh. That's unexpected.
Nobody reported a glowing object flying through the sky.
Nobody reported a glowing object flying through the sky.
Maybe it didn't go all the way to Chi-Town.
Possible.
Maybe it never left the fortress.
Also possible.
Oh, but I got a radar return from it when it was flying, right?
You did, yes.
Okay, and so can we go back and look at those recordings and kind of do a little, estimate of size, diameter, return, and so on?
Well, I mean, the return is consistent with something the size of the seal. So other than that, you can't really get a whole lot more data out of what you have in your system.
Would have to track the entire flight path.
You'd have to follow the entire flight path, yeah.
Well, could we do an aerial look over of the fortress where it burst out of and confirm that there is actually a hole in the roof?
If you went back there, yes, you could. They might be on the lookout now, though.
Why?
Yeah.
They get a good look at you guys? Because I don't think they saw us.
How's the rest of our people that came with us?
We were down to about 5 guys in the boat.
Feeling a little guilty about what's happened to their party.
None whatsoever.
For another frontal assault.
Okay, just checking. I'm feeling a little
Once you start
guilty.
caring about cannon fodder, it never stops.
Well, from here, you could reasonably safely send them on the castle refuge if you didn't want them to come with.
I think we should send them on their way.
Yeah, it seems the humane thing to do.
So you send them on your way, and you have some decisions to make about where to go next.
The Rift setting, the Megaverse, and associated characters and locations are the property of Palladium Books. Savage Worlds is the property of Pinnacle Entertainment. All other content is the property of Happy Monster Press. Find us at www.happymonsterpress.com or as Happy Monster Press on Twitter, Facebook, MeWe, and Pashpost. Theme music, Jason Shaw's Ice Cold.
Oh, for sure.